Welcome back to Season 3 of Black Hole News. In this episode, we're going to take a look at this year's prom adventures, take a deep dive into mental health awareness, and check in on the robotics team after their trip to Texas. Black Hole News starts now.
Here we go.
Welcome back to this episode of Black Hole News.
We've got a great show for you today, featuring some amazing segments from our students here.
We've also got a special Jackson Hole sports recap and so much more great content, so stay tuned.
First, let's check out a few highlights from this year's prom. Good job, Ryleigh. That was a spectacular edit.
Thanks, Eli. And we still have loads more fun content to share before the end of this show.
That's right. First, though, here's a JHHS sports recap.
First, both boys and girls soccer have a phenomenal season so far, with wins against Kelly Walsh, Evanston, Rock Springs, and more.
We also need to congratulate the track and field team on their amazing performance at Pinedale, Idaho Falls, and Rock Springs. Special shout-outs to Sean Anderson and Connor Healy in discus and Becca Gribble in triple jump.
Let's also congratulate the robotics team on winning the Engineering Inspiration Award and going to the World Championship, but more on that later.
And finally, at State Art, students won 40 blue ribbons and had 2 art pieces congressionally recognized. Students Anna Brown and Maggie Hoffman were also awarded the First Lady Award.
Wow, way to go, Bronx. Keep up the great work.
Next, we've got a segment about mental health in our school, followed by an interview with the best droid makers in Wyoming, the Jackson Hole Robo Bronx.
Sounds fun. Commonly, as misconceptions about mental health grow and people become hesitant on the topic, many often hurt in silence, causing conditions to go untreated and struggles to go ignored. Over the past 10 years, mental health disorders have increased by 13%. Suicide rates are high among young adults. In ages 15 to 29, suicide is the second most common cause of death.
I'm Miss Husband and I teach the Peer Advocates.
My name is Zoe Self. I'm in 11th grade and I am part of Peer Advocates.
My name is Mr. Jenkins and I teach PE here at the high school, but also a class called Gender Issues in Society Today.
My name is Jess Yeomans. I teach health class to all of the 9th graders.
Mental health is, it's something that's important to everybody.
Everyone sort of has their moments.
One of the most important parts of our health when we look at overall health.
I think it should be talked about because there's a stigma around it.
Misrepresented in our society because it's got such a negative stigma with it.
I think it's rather common, but that's just, part of being human.
So sometimes people feel like they will be kind of outcast or maybe seen as weaker if they feel like they have a problem and they don't talk about it.
They could just be afraid of what might happen.
Even though there's this fear of people not maybe treating you the way you'd like if you open up about that stuff, I think it's really not true.
Just the normal stresses of life, school, friends, family, dealing with all of that stuff, it's hard. Social media, I think that has a tremendous impact on teens in society today.
All of those things can add up and really cause students to feel anxious, depressed.
Peer advocates advocate for victims of dating violence and sexual assault.
They're trained for students just to come to them and talk to them. We'll believe them. We will get them to the right person and get them some support.
So having a community, especially of peers who people can come to speak about this stuff is major.
GIST is another name for my class, Gender Issues in Society Today. We talk about a lot of really important and very serious topics, very heavy topics. Those students having those discussions helps with mental health. I do my best to create a safe space in that class. Then students feel comfortable talking about things that they wouldn't normally talk about with other people.
I'm a youth ambassador for the Tourette Association of America. Uncontrollable. If you don't know what Tourette's is, it's a neurodevelopmental disorder in which a person experiences motor and vocal tics. It could be clapping or jumping. A common misconception about Tourette's is that it involves swearing. Less than 1% of the population with Tourette's actually has.
I think we should talk about it more.
The reality is that the more we talk about it, the more normalized it will become. Make it so that it's not such a stigma to talk about mental health.
Big doctors of the world are challenge, movement, good food, relationships, and sunshine.
Regardless of whether you have a diagnosable mental illness, everybody struggles.
Would you tell us what your name is and how you got into robotics?
I'm Emerson Hawkins, and I've always wanted to be a mechanical engineer, and just looking at how things work and wanting to create new things has always been one of my passions, and robotics is a perfect outlet for that.
That's awesome. Could you tell us a little bit about the robots that you have built or that you do build?
This season we've built 2 robots that went to the world competition. One of them was for FRC, which is a larger scale of robot. The build limit is 3 feet by 3 feet, and you can get up to 200 pounds. So there's these massive metal blocks basically driving around the field. And it was shooting 18-inch frisbee sort of things. There's rings.
Oh, cool.
So we're shooting those 10, 12 feet in the air, driving around, and then you climb, or you have to lift your robot off of the field by hooking onto one of the trusses at the end of the game. And the other robot we made to Worlds with was an FTC robot, which the build limit is 18 by 18. And they're much smaller and there's no contact in the game, so you don't have to have as robust of a robot, but the FTC challenge is normally a little bit harder than the FRC challenge.
Oh, cool, all right.
Yeah.
Sweet. What does your team do outside of building and programming robots?
A lot of us mentor other teams. We mentor several smaller teams across Wyoming, mostly on Wind River Reservation. but we also do some at the middle school for 7th and 8th grade teams, and then I mentor stuff for the little 6th graders.
Sweet, thank you. How do you think being in robotics will help you in the future?
There's a lot of technology that's being created and used constantly. Like there's all the automation robots for anything, like creating any sort of product. At some point, there's most likely a robot that does something to do that. So just kind of knowing how to like build those, use those, like control them, just be able to use them in general is kind of pretty future-proof, because I don't think they're going away anytime soon.
Thanks for letting us interview you. It was really awesome hearing about all the cool features on robotics.
Mm-hmm.
Epic.
That's the end of our show. Thanks for watching Jackson Hole High School.
Before you go, be sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Also, remember to turn on notifications so you never miss one of our shows. Bye.
Bye.